I finally gave up on writing and it saved my entire career. I'm going to tell you guys what I did and why in this video. So at the start of the year, I had seen a lot of posts around redundancy and budget cuts. I was also hit, and I knew I needed to start playing my cards differently if I was going to remain relevant in this space. There's been a very big problem. All the articles that most of our clients have been writing over the years were starting to look the same. AI generated, even though humans had written every single word of them. And the problem wasn't that we weren't writing well, it was that we were getting too technical. We were writing more for the search engine and not really for the players, who are human, by the way, and would need to take action from what we were writing. For a while, search engine liked it. Everybody liked it. Good money was coming in for the clients. But when that stopped and AI began to shake things, it was time to solve that problem by sounding like the people you were creating content for. So I decided to do an experiment. When the client sent me the first brief, 1,000 words article, I opened the brief on one screen and opened the casino on the other. Then I decided to try out Google Docs voice typing tool. Yeah, but this time I wasn't just saying the things that I would write. I was pouring out everything I felt while going through the casino. The sign-up process was tedious. I talked about it. The games were fun to play. They were easy to find. I talked about it. Just the same way I would talk to a friend. Was it perfect? Far from it. In fact, it was the hottest mess I had ever created in my entire life. Because not every single word I was saying was being picked, right? And by the end, I already had a document of almost 5,000 words. That's 4K more than was required. But it was a good thing. Because at the end of the day, I spent another 3 hours chopping out all the nonsense. And what remained was a work of art. I'm not even going to kid you. It was a work of art. I never thought I could write anything that looked or sounded that brilliant. Because for the first time, I was talking to a real human being. I wasn't bothered about whether or not the keyword was used a certain number of times. No, all of that was left for the editing process. And then I shared this with the client. She was stunned. The very first question she asked was if I had ever written anything fictional, if I had any experience with writing fiction. And I said no. I just realized that real people need other people to talk to them. And that's how they know that you've played, you've tested, and they can trust you. The thing is, writing is interesting, and I do not think it's going away anytime soon. In fact, it's coming back in style, but only if you move away from trying to sound too smart to actually humanizing your content with your words. This solves two problems. One, the client liked the article. They finally realized they could, switch their content style. They never thought of that before. I'm happy my content gave them that idea. And two, when I repeated it for other content, my clients stopped asking me to run my pieces through AI checkers. They were beating every single checker. You avoid unnecessary patterns. You use the simplest words possible, because when you're talking to your friend, you're not trying to act like you're so smart and use words that you don't even know the meaning of. And number three, your content is very, very relatable. So these are things that AI checkers naturally will not flag, because, hello, it's from a real person. Yeah. I'm not saying it's time to give up on writing entirely. No, there's a place for it. For instance, the intro. I wrote that by hand because I had finally poured out my heart into the body, and now I could just let my head do what was left. Same thing for FAQs. So this video is basically to give you a practical way to write faster, because after the first time, you get used to it and it becomes very, very easy. You save more time, you get more work done, and you make more money. But that's just one of 3 brilliant things I found myself doing since the start of the year. So I'm going to be sharing the others in subsequent videos. If you haven't liked, shared, and subscribed yet, you're going to be missing all of that. And I am going to fight you. Don't make me fight you. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.